We're good. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Real Estate Power Play podcast, where we come to you every week sharing just insights and knowledge of what we've been learning and what's going on in the marketplace and real estate investing to help you build your business. This is the way for us to give back to the community that has helped us so much throughout our careers in real estate investing. We have the man, Ronald Walker here. What's up, Ronnie?
What's up, Gabe? How are you doing today, man?
Man, I am fantastic, energized, awesome. Ready to go, excited over this one.
I'm freezing in my basement, so I threw on a hoodie real quick. So
I was about to say, I think about it now, and I'm going. I didn't say anything whenever you put that on, but now I think about it. We hit like a 95 degree today.
Nice.
And everyone's like, oh man, fall's coming. Everyone's excited about it. It'll probably jump back up. But for those who don't know, I'm in Houston, Texas, and Ronnie is up in Michigan on that West Coast side. You're on that west side.
Absolutely. Well, man,
when you guys go about stuff, does your team and stuff, do you guys go west side? Do you guys do any of that over there?
Not really. No. I mean, there's guys who do that here, but not really.
Not really.
Is what it is. Yeah. Not really. You probably could do the whole.
So today, man, we got some fun stuff, dude. We got we're gonna talk about some stuff that not everyone likes to talk about, right? This is rubber meets the road type of stuff, and it's a thing called your KPIs, right? And so what you inspect, and that is probably it's one of the things that I struggled with a ton in the beginning of my business. I didn't even know what I was supposed to be looking at. I just knew grind. I just knew make a call. I just knew you had to do what this guy told to go look at a property and put an offer in and make a phone call and drive some properties. And I didn't like back then. It wasn't even really skip trace something. Okay, how do I do that? Like it was a lot of stuff going on in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, when you look at your health, you look at your life, you look at your business, you look at anything you can think of. There's things that we have to be accountable to, and the KPIs are kind of like a metric that helps us be accountable to these things. So what is a KPI? Let's go into there. Let's get the Ronnie definition. I'll trip in every now and then. So Ronnie, you've helped out a lot of your students, and I've helped out mine. What do you help your students understand when it comes down to like KPIs? What is this thing?
Yeah, I mean, really, what it comes down to, the actual acronym means a key performance indicator. But if you boil that down, it's just what are the daily actions that are most important in your business, right? What are the things you're actually doing, and then you're tracking what you're doing. Oftentimes I find, we hear the phrase take massive action, but what does take massive action really mean? Right.
Yeah.
You can't take massive action unless you're actually doing an activity over and over again. And I'm reading a book right now. Actually, I'm studying a book right now by Alex Hormozi, his new book that just came out. And one of the things he talks about later on in the book, he says, there's really three things you can focus on. You can do more, you could do it better, or you could switch what you're doing to something new, right? It always starts with do more first, and then decide to do it better before you actually switch to something new. And so I think the idea here with key performance indicators is there's a couple really basic things that I've learned in my business that if I focus on them, it generates money. And money is why we're running this business. We're trying to generate deals. We're trying to make some profit. We're trying to make money because that money equals freedom. And in order to do that, it's really easy to get distracted away from these things that we're supposed to be doing. And so the KPI is a line item. So we know, hey, are we doing those key activities that will drive the dollar in my business so I can live the life that I want?
That's good. That's good. I think one of the things that I would addition to it is I like the phrase accountability. I don't know why. I like it whenever we look at KPIs. and you look at these key performance indicators, you're going to be able to track things, and we're going to go over that. But really, what we're looking to do is to be accountable to our personal growth, right? And that these indicators, these things are showing us, are we off to the right or to the left? What do you need to do to get back on track? Or maybe you just didn't do them today, and you need to go and hold yourself accountable, and you got to double up tomorrow, where you have to make sure that your schedule is on point tomorrow. You might not be able to do the double up because of a job or a second job or kids or family or whatever, but you go and say, you know what, I'm just going to have to consider it a wash, but I could be on track tomorrow. And this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So it helps you with your schedule and for prioritizing certain things in your business. And so that's something that I think that all of us need in different areas of our life, especially with the marketing side of real estate investing. And guys, that's what we're here for. So if you have questions, or if you have comments, or you got anything that you want us to add to for this, let us know. We'll be happy to respond.
So Gabe, I got a question for you. We mentioned accountability, and accountability to our personal growth, right? Like that we're growing as a business owner.
Yeah.
Growing as an individual. And I think that's extremely important for me and for you and for people out there. We want to grow, but what are some ways you hold yourself accountable, right? When you think of like your KPIs and holding yourself accountable to numbers and that type of thing, what are things you focus on to make sure you're not stagnant in your business, and flipping houses or finding commercial deals or really finding these deals that we can make money on? Where's that key focus? Where's that key thing that you're like, yo, this is the thing I have to do every day?
So I'm going to go to two areas. I'm going to go personal and then business. And personal is just, do I have the right attitude for the day? Right? Am I approaching it correctly? Like, am I not correctly, but am I approaching it with the energy, with the stamina, with the excitement that it takes to lead a team, to go after something, to really talk to sellers, have good energy while you're on the phone, title companies, you name it. If you're the drag of your business, that is not a good sign. So you really want to hold it pretty high in your standards of like your energy level. And so it's an indicator for me of that I bring the energy to the team, that I bring the energy to my group and to the people around me, and this to the seller. And that's a huge thing. I didn't know this is a thing, Ronnie, until so quick story. I've learned this years ago. A title company, we have major title issues with this thing. I call up the escrow agent. I think her name was Pam. And Pam goes and says, Gabe, how's your day going? Like, how's it going? It's a messy deal where they don't want to answer the phone, right? Like, this is one of those things. Yeah, Gabe's calling. I got to tell him the bad news of all the junk going on. Someone doesn't want to do something. And I go and I'm like, Gabe, how's your day going? She's low energy. I go, man, it's going fantastic. It's great. It's a great day. And she goes, you know what? It is a good, you know what, Gabe, you're right. I'm so glad you called. And it didn't occur to me until after we went through all of the title process. And for those who know, sometimes it takes time, right, to go through, okay, so where's the legal issue? Where's the problem? Who needs to sign what? We can't get so-and-so to sign. Okay, well, maybe we can talk to them this. That's where some of the sticky stuff is. But I'm bringing the energy to this person on the other side of the phone, and she turns it around, and I don't know if that's what made that deal go through, Ronnie, but I know it helped. I know it didn't hurt, right. And I know it didn't hurt me either, right? And so that's something that I hold myself to personally as an indicator of these are things like, how am I going to run a business or run any type of team if I have low energy, right? If I'm, oh my gosh, I got to talk to someone else. It's like, yeah, it's hot outside. Let's go to the beach, right? It's not like, it's hot outside. Oh my gosh, let's stay in the shade. It's like, let's make fun out of it. Let's go grab some tequila and some margaritas and let's go hang out. And you're just changing the environment. Guys, this is stuff that changes your business, right? All the great salespeople that I know, they can turn it on like a switch. They just go, oh man, 2:00, it's tough. Let's turn it. Let's do it now. That's why I'm awesome. That's how I can get this next deal, because you don't know what that next phone call is going to be. If it's going to be freaking awesome, if it's going to be someone who's a downer and you need to lift them up. But that's a major indicator that I use personally in my business of going, did I bring the guts, though, whatever you want to call it? Did I bring it? Did I have the moxie? Did I have the guts? Did I do it? And look, guys, we don't make it every day. Right. There's some days that I'm like, I was at a 7 all day long. It was just stagnant. Boom. Like, but you got to figure out a way to bring it up to the next level. And that's what I hold myself accountable to, of just saying, how can I take myself to the next level? That's my personal KPI, bro.
Yeah. When we think of going to the next level, the way I think of is like functions, right? So when I think of my business, I think of, okay, I'm getting 15 leads coming in this week from internet marketing, and then it's like, okay, how many are we actually calling? Okay, you know what, we called all 15 of them and we spoke to 8 of them, and now we want to follow up with them. Well, when we think about scaling, because we're often thinking about, to scale our business, we need to do more deals, and to do more deals means we need more leads and we need to talk to more sellers. At what point, like, is that how you focus on your business, was activities outside of bringing the energy and the time, or are there other aspects? I think it was like a year and a half ago, you went through the whole process of the clockwork stuff, right? Like turning your business into clockwork, and how much is being able to make your business kind of run in a sustainable way, hitting certain metric without you having to do it all. And how do you begin to make that transition?
That's a good question.
As someone who's like, dude, I'm trying to run against the wall and I'm having a hard time. How do you make that transition to say, I'm going to implement a couple KPIs. I'm going to try to implement this clockwork process. What does this look like? Like, what advice would you give? How did you do it? Because I know you went through that whole model. Kind of unpack that for us.
Yeah, so this is a model that affects you if you're listening to this and you're wondering where you fit in this. There's different tiers to this. So it's really tough to inspect anything without product, without production, without momentum, without anything. And guys, I've been part of so many mastermind groups, and I know we have, right, where you sit in there and you're listening, and there's people that are struggling with things that have they're not putting in the effort. So the first thing that you have to start doing is find something to track to move on. So if it's in our business, if it's how many calls did you do a day, then freaking be accountable to the calls. Right? If you're just starting and you're going, I don't know what I need to be tracking. What about how many text messages or how many emails did I respond to? Like, so we've been doing commercial real estate, and a lot of commercial real estate works with brokerages, and the brokerages tend to work a lot through emails and phone calls. That's what their style is. I mean, some of these guys are billionaire brokers that are working with clients that are billionaires, right? So you don't know who you're dealing with. So you want to make sure that you're putting out the right information. You contacted enough properties. This is a good KPI, by the way. If you're definitely doing wholesaling, this is something you need to do. How many properties did I contact? Right? Like, so you pay a service that's going to bring some inbound. They bring in 15 leads. Okay, well, put that down. Did I get my 15 leads? Right? And then the follow-up of, I only contacted 8. And so what do you need to make sure you're tracking? Well, let's just do it over 2 weeks. I'm just going to go 2 weeks without second guessing myself. This is key. This is so key, guys. If you can do your business without second guessing yourself and considering yourself a imposter syndrome type of mentality, kind of like a victim, like you're not powerful. Like, I don't know if I'm really doing this or not, Ronnie. I don't know. Someone's asking you a question and you don't really know. You got to switch that baby around, and you have to come and say, look, I don't know. All I know is for the next 2 weeks, this is my goal. And then you know what happens? then you can take stuff like that to Ronnie or to me. I mean, I remember when I had all those leads, dude. I don't even remember this or not. I had so many freaking leads. Guys, I just remember going to you. I don't remember this. It was late one night. I'm like, dude, I'm going crazy. And you go into my system and you go, bro, this is a mess. And then like you just help me with simple thoughts. And I think that you can't expect your business to grow unless you have some messiness. You know what I mean? And then you're like, dude, do this. You got to say no faster. You have to edit these things. And it was like 3 tweaks. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I have an answer. Thank you. I'm banging my head against the wall. But what did you do? You gave me a pat on the back and you're like, dude, kudos to you for doing the freaking work. Like you got leads in here. This is good. I bet you have about $100,000 worth of property in here. And I'm going, what? I just remember it. Remember that day?
Yeah, I do. We were up till 1 a.m.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was fun. We were talking about so many things too. Like those guys, there's so much fun in this business also, and friendship and just stuff you go over at like, hey, while we're working on something, we're talking about another deal. And so that's what I would say is like, you have to find just a couple things that you can control. That's an inbound indicator, right?
Yes.
What inbound indicator is stuff that you can control. So inbound is looking like how many calls, how many emails, how many texts, how many, what are some of the other ones? If you're going to do mailers, or how many postcards, or how many signs, or how many, whatever it is, you have to have some form of momentum. So that way you can take it and go, I have this. What am I missing? Right. And this is the place of humility and accountability that I think that most people miss, of going, it's really hard to have a mentor or a leader in your life if you're not producing anything.
Well, and I think what happens is that production, guys, just to kind of get an idea, production equals certain numbers. Like you should be able to track what you're doing, like what Gabe's saying. I realized very early on that I thought I was on the phone all the time, and I only made 20 calls, right? But it felt like I spoke to so many people, right? And I only had 3 conversations, and the longest one was 15 minutes. You see, in order to get momentum, we want to be able to track these numbers so we know exactly what we're doing. And here's a quick pro tip. Make 40 calls and talk to 3 to 7 people per day. Like if you're talking 3 to 7 sellers per day at 40 dials, like you're making some pretty good progress when you're starting off. How many leads are you reaching out to? How many of those leads are coming in? And then how many of those are you following up with? And if you can have 3 conversations of over 5 minutes and hopefully over 10 minutes, you're making some progress. The question is, how many of those are you having? Are you just having like one every, 4 or 5 days? Or what does that conversation style look like? And are they conversations with the right people? So think of it this way. How many leads did I generate? How many people did I call? How many of them did I talk to and process, like what a quality conversation? And then lastly, how many people was I able to call back and make an offer? And if you can set these numbers up, set them side by side and start tracking them on literally a day by day or week by week basis, where you're going through and you're saying, man, these are all the people I spoke to. These are all the leads that I generated. You'll be able to see what you're actually accomplishing in your business, because your business doesn't care like how you feel. It doesn't care if you second guess yourself. What it does care about is how many leads are there. It does care about how many conversations are being done towards an offer. Like if those things are done, then as you're doing them, you will get better. You will get better. You'll get more efficient. You're stronger. When you reach out to a buyer and you have a conversation, you'll know, okay, next time I reach out to them, I can say this. You'll learn more in your first 1,000 activities than you will consuming information. And I think oftentimes for me, I realized that sometimes I consume, information as an escape of doing the actual work. It's kind of this switch where it's like, man, I can sit here and read this, this book on being the top dog, and I could do that. but then I don't do my work for today, right? And if I don't do my work for today, I don't get momentum. Where this becomes strong is where I'm able to take these strategies, implement them into my day to day with my KPI to get better at that activity, not as a replacement for not doing the work and using these things as procrastination. That is something that is so easy to do because we're thinking, oh, we have to set up the system. Oh, I've got to set up my website and go to OnCarrot and do this, and then it takes 4 hours. Oh, I got to have all this before I reach out to anybody. The truth is you don't. The truth is you got to sit down for 3 or 4 hours. You got to knock out a core activity that gives you momentum. If you do that again and again and again and again, you'll get things, you'll get momentum. But oftentimes that means meeting resistance. It means.
Do you think that, sorry, do you think that right now with, and not, maybe you know more than me, because I know you talk with the different types of students than I do. Do you think that there's a massive distraction barrier to entry nowadays where people are just going, they think they're doing things, or they're majorly distracted, or they are, from Facebook to Instagram to watching the short clips, and then they're in the time warp or whatever. We've all done them at different times of our life.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've noticed for me is that, time can slip by if you don't watch yourself. Do you think that that's happening more often than what we think?
I do actually. I think it happens to me. It happens to me quite. It's easy to think that I'm watching a guy that I like and I'm getting motivation, but then realize, you know what, I've spent 2.5 hours and I haven't spent that time on that one project I'm working on, right?
Right.
So I've actually changed. I haven't changed, but I've narrowed down the way I've worked. And I've had this for a while, but I'm really focusing on buckets of time where I'm saying, okay, what is the things that I'm working on? What are the things I need to knock out with my KPIs? And I'm creating buckets of time, and a bucket of time is a 4-hour window. And that 4-hour window, Alex Ramosi, my timer's over there, but he talks about getting a timer. I actually ordered one. And I took this from him. Is I have this timer and I set the timer to 4 hours exactly. And what he does is you set it on the desk and then it's counting down. And during that window, there's no distractions. Don't answer my phone. And I just knock this out, and I knock out what I need to be doing. And what this allows me to do is it gives me 2 or 3 windows during the day where I can knock out groups of activities. And then what I do is I group activities together. So I'll give you an example. Like in the afternoon, I have a lot of scheduled appointments and strategy calls and times where I'm unpacking people's businesses and their goals. And I'm helping out a lot of my students in the afternoon. Well, not all that time is booked 100%.
Right.
So I also, on top of that, that's when I answer text messages when people are reaching out to me. That's when I'm writing emails, when I'm writing my emails, or I'm writing new content, or I'm really facilitating or looking over. Like there's a whole bunch of groups of activities that are all in the same like brain decision mode that I'm working together. And that allows me to knock out a good chunk of stuff. And so, I think
really
people
good,
are getting distracted? I absolutely do. But Gabe, man, I found I can have a really bad week emotionally and like really be having a hard time personally and like second guessing myself and all of that. But you know what? If I had 16 hours of solid work, it's like, dude, I made this rockin' free giveaway, right? That like helps people set up their marketing systems like in 4 steps to start getting leads right away. That happened because I had 16 hours of focused attention to document what I'm doing. Right. Being able to sit down and make 100 calls today on my dialer, that's because I sat down and I had 2 hours of non-interrupted time where I just focused on generating leads. Right. Like these things, guys, this is what we mean by key performance indicator. A key performance indicator is a key activity that drives revenue and creates the life that you want to create. And so the question is, What are those things for you? And if you don't know, and if you're focused on wholesaling or flip it or subject to or owner financing, and you're trying to do real estate deals, like this is why we're doing this real estate power play, because we want to help you guys. And we want to show you the right activities to do to build this business to make 15 grand, 25 grand, 45 grand, $55,000 a month, so you can constantly turn that. But that's how
exactly. This is it. Yeah, no, man, this is it, dude. This is exciting stuff. And what you just said was really the core of why you want to put this stuff into place, right? Because you're just the way that you phrased it all just makes total sense, man. What are you do? What would you say to someone, or how are you helping people? And I have my way, but what is one of the ways that you can help people just track? I mean, is this a spreadsheet? Is this a Google Drive? What is this?
The easiest way that I have found, especially initially, guys, is Google Forms. Okay, create a form on Google Forms and put in your activity every single day. What are the 5 things? Okay, if you guys need something, I will give you a free giveaway of what a wholesaler should focus on. Just send me a message, I'll send it to you. Okay, but you have these key things that you're answering these questions every day. So you stare at this Google form and it says, how many leads did you get today? 0. Okay, that sucked. How many calls did you make? 13. Okay, that's great. How many buyers did you speak to or did you network with? 2. Okay, cool. How many blah, whatever those things are. Okay. Right. Then you insert that every single day at the end of the day, usually sometime around 6:30 or 7:30. You've settled down for the day and you insert that information. Then Sunday nights, okay? Sunday nights, the kids are in bed, you're getting ready to play video games, whatever you're going to do, okay? Before you do that, pull up the form, pull up the results, and look at your activity and then count it all together. Yo, this week I only made 113 calls. How many follow-up leads do I have? Dang, I have 416 follow-up leads. I only made 100. Why didn't I call everybody? Okay, that's it. That's a to-do. Boom. All right, how many buyers did I talk to? I only talked to 6 buyers that I fostered a relationship this week. Oh, dude, I could increase that to 8. Let's say 8 this week. And now you're starting to judge yourself in a positive way and motivate yourself.
Yeah.
To hit that next KPI, right? To beat your prior best. Because now you start getting momentum of, okay, this is what I actually did. Now let me do this. And if you can,
you got to create it as a game.
Yeah, insert that as a Google form, guys. Create that. If you want a template, just reach out to me. But if you insert that, that's an easy way of seeing your numbers. You don't need some fancy dashboard through Plecto. You don't need to spend $200 a month. You don't need to go create a fancy spreadsheet. Like literally Google will do it for you. If you just questions what you want to do, answer them in a specific way, put the data in there and look back and say, hey, did I do what I said I was going to do? Yes or no? And you're easily able to track that. So that is the beginner guide. There's more advanced guides, but that's the beginner guide to start looking at the numbers and start figuring out what you're doing on a daily basis.
Totally. And guys, I still use Google Forms for half of my business stuff and most of it's personal stuff. But I still use Google Forms. I like it. It's easy. I get adjusted on the fly. If there's something that I'm like, I don't really need that anymore, I can change it. If it's a KPI, and this is one of the things that I think to give people relief, and I know we got to hop off in a bit, but if you have a KPI that you're like, I want to track this, and then you find out that it's like not even helpful, change it. It's okay. That's the whole point of it. The thing is that you're always looking for new ways to improve your business, improve yourself, personal development. Did you make the calls? What can you hold yourself accountable to? And then the thing that we have to understand that, there's rules that we use in my family, and rule number 1 is have fun. Like it is just the rule. Whatever we do, rule number 1 is have fun. Guys, you got to have fun with this. You got to have fun with your business, make a game out of it, challenge yourself going, okay, I want to beat this last week. I want to up my outbound. I want to up my calls. I want to up the way I do it. I just want to challenge myself to get to that next place. I want to see what it's like. You know, whenever you do a PR or you're in health or you're in the gym or you're doing running or you're doing something, you have that personal best, right? That you just want to like, you want to beat your old record, create these little wins, right? With yourself of going, I just want to beat my own record, right? Man, so I gotta, this is a quick shout out to my family. I gotta end at this, and I gotta do a post on this eventually, but I'm about to hit 365 days of no alcohol. Today's I'm at 355, no alcohol, bro.
Good job,
And
brother.
that's me just creating, like I got it on my phone. There's a app you could get. It's called Count Down and Count Up. You can put on your phone, and it has a little widget, and you can do anything. You can do a 30-day, right, challenge. You could do 75-day challenge. You could do a 15-day challenge. You could do whatever. And it's just an app on your phone. This is a cool little giveaway. And you just keep it on your phone, right? Of going, hey, for the next 14 days, I'm going to make calls even on Sunday, even on Sunday night. You know why? Because sellers live in homes 24/7. They live there all the time, right? So it's not a big deal for them to take a phone call on the Sunday afternoon. This is normal. This is not a hard thing. So do it. Challenge yourself. I've challenged myself. Ronnie has his own challenges. This is the longest challenge I think I've ever given myself, and that I've like just patting myself. I'm just excited because you have to hype up the normal routine to get those indicators, to get your conscious, your subconscious, your dopamine, everything ramped up at a high level. One of the things I like about Ronnie is that he can turn it on pretty fast, right? Like he's working, he has it. This is what I got to do. And then when that clock ticks, he's going, okay, next, let's go. And that's the next thing you got to do. So Ronnie, is there anything you want to leave with everybody?
Yeah. There's a quote that says, show me a man's habits and I'll show you his future. And, you know, if whatever your goals are, guys, if you want to make 100 grand a year, if you want to make 250 a year, if you want to make 500 a year, I found in my life that we have to exemplify that behavior through habits before we hit that dollar amount. And I was challenged recently by a guy. He said, Ronnie, how much money do you have now in the bank? How much money is the most you've ever had? And are you happy with that? And it really challenged me, you know, because I've done a lot in real estate. I've done a lot of deals. I've had a lot of money in the bank, and I've lost a lot of money, and I know where I'm at now. And the goal and the truth is, guys, I've got goals, right? I've got things that I'm trying to achieve, and I've got markers that I want to hit. And going to that next level, it's hard. It's really hard, guys. It's not easy because we have to challenge ourselves. We have to constantly compete to people who are above us. If I compare myself to my brother or my, you know, someone that I grew up with, like that's easy. It's like, oh yeah, like okay, I got way more money than that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that doesn't do anything. That's just ego. The question is, what do you want to accomplish? What are the goals that you want to hit? Because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. The goals that I want are my goals.
That's good.
Nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
The goals that you guys want out there, they're your goals, and nobody cares. And the question is, back to the KPIs, what are the key, most important activities that you have to do? And then do more of them, and do more, and then get better, and then get better. And stop switching between new and shiny object. Do more and do them better. Do more and do them better. And I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised after doing Gabe's 60-day challenge. Go grab the app, do a 60-day challenge, and do more and do it better. And I think you guys will be shocked. And I'm doing that right now in my business on things that I'm doing. And it's an exciting time. So I leave you with that. I challenge you guys. Reach out to me if you want the KPI sheet. Reach out to me if you guys want any help or setting up. You can reach out to Gabe too. We'd love to be able to help you guys. That's why we do this. That's all I got.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.